Good morning. We're here finally.
We were sitting there discussing the podcast that released this morning, guys. So I was fighting once again with Apple. So forgive me. I'm still fighting with them. We're on everything but Apple. So trying to make that a thing. But how many of you have already listened to it this morning? I saw that some people have already downloaded and listened. It is out there. But in the meantime, good morning, Melody and Swifty. Best hour of the week. That's nice. I think my best hour is that last hour on my weekend that's getting ready to come up.
Right.
It is the longest 6 to 7.
Never goes fast.
Dabby, so we got it. So I'm like, oh crap, we're late, and we have a whole bunch of good mornings to go through. Marianne, have you downloaded and listened to any of our past? Are you one of those people that you go back and like, man, I hate the sound of my own voice?
Yeah, pretty much, because I never watch anything on TV that I'm in either, because I just, I shouldn't have done that. And I did listen to this because I didn't know, well, I just wanted to hear this one. And that's a word I have to lose in my vocabulary, and the word so, because I use those all the time and I have to stop. Scary.
That's your filler. Oh, so Rebecca, thank you. She's listened to it already.
And so everybody knows Rebecca's the one that does all of our music for us. She does such a great job. Thank you, Rebecca.
Mm-hmm. And so if you hear, sometimes I use the openings with her speaking, sometimes I don't, depending on if we introduce ourselves too. So when you hear that voice talking in the intro, that's actually her.
And the end, she speaks at the end too. So That's her. That's right.
Good morning, from Southern California, where it's 68. Oh, never mind. I was going to say it sounds better temperature than what we have, and then she says 92.
Right. And we're going to be hotter than you today in Ohio. So, Yeah, they're saying the heat index will be over 100.
Yeah. So, see, friends, we got our friends talking to one another, Amanda and Setsuko.
Right.
Let's see. So, in the morning time, meantime, anybody who is brand new with us, feel free to ask questions in the comments. We're going to answer you live, be it about the podcast episode or any of the episodes, but primarily the one that just released this morning. Sapphire says she listened to it at 1 a.m. That's right, because of the time change. I set it for 4 a.m. our time. That means 1 a.m.
The California time would be, yeah, okay.
If you have not listened to it already, this one has to do with the demon in the house that Marianne's never told anybody before. So,
it's so hard for some people to believe that I can even talk or see ghosts. And you throw the devil in there. Now, if I said I saw angels all the time, I don't think anybody would think twice. But I don't. But seeing the devil, I just sort of backed off of that. And at this point, it's a fine. I don't care.
It is. It is available on Amazon. And ironically, I actually have it kind of streaming through on the back end of a browser tab right now, just making sure it makes it all the way through. So it is available on Amazon Music. If you go to Amazon Podcast or tell it to play when Ghosts Speak, just make sure, I don't know what you would have to say to make sure you differentiate for Alexa the difference between the audiobook and the podcast, since they both have the same title.
Oh, golly, I'm sure I don't know.
We found a snag in our plan here, Marianne.
Yeah. Well, if we
devices.
Do something.
So Charlie's mom is asking, how can you tell if you have a demon in your house? Here come your questions.
Listen to the podcast, because in all the years I've been doing this, that is one hymn that was in this podcast and one other one. That's all. Demons are not running amok. Believe me, they're not out there. People that are earthbound that did bad things in their life, yeah, but the devil, no.
Mm-hmm. What I found fun too, Mary, this was a story that I hadn't even heard yet. Marianne, I've been listening to your stories at all of your events and functions and book signings for, I forget how many years we've kind of said now.
15, 16 years at least. Yeah.
So she's still got stories in her pockets, guys. Um,
Some
this
may stay there too.
next week is going to be a fun one. It's a recipe out of the cookbook, or that didn't. There's one that's from in there, but it's got a longer backstory, and then there's a story that didn't make it, and you'll be glad why.
That's right. Well,
But the link here on the screen, that is if you want to go listen to the podcast directly on our hosting site, and you don't want to have to worry about having to download an app or something. So,
well, isn't that something? Because now I'm showing you how stupid I am with computers. Isn't that something that they can do on their computer where they just have to hit a button and they can go to that every time? They don't have to look for it.
yeah, you could actually put that in your search engine bar and like favorite it or save it and just go.
Okay, favorite. That's it. That's
Mhm.
it. Okay, all right.
And it will automatically show like the newest and then go in date order of newest to oldest for you. Oh, thank you. I have quite a few Oogie Boogie shirts. I have more than I don't have, honestly. But I think this one's my favorite. Let's see. Amanda says maximum security prisons must be full of portals.
Yes, because a lot of violent things happen in a prison and a regular city jail also. So yeah, that's a very, very common place for portals to be.
Hmm. You would think that it would just almost become part of the landscape.
That's right. It's just there, right?
Let's see. So good morning to everyone. We caught up to all the good mornings. Yay. um, so if anybody's got questions about that podcast episode, and I'm wondering because we do have that book club coming up. I admit I still need to get into this Beyond Fairy. I've been a little busy. As a matter of fact, I still have to edit the 2 that we just recorded.
Okay.
Ready to go out. But I posed a possible question for a little bit about what that demon may or may not have been, and it may have fallen into this realm. So I kind of want to get in here and see.
Check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yes, the next book club, which is always the third Tuesday of the month, will be on
the 16th.
The 16th of August.
7 p.m. It's a Tuesday. And it got us elite, no fee, just come in and we'll just go through the book. They're fun. They're fun. And if you're not local, it's you could still join in. Melissa will ask the questions that you type to her, and so you guys can join in too. Whoever wants to, just come on. Yeah,
it'll be just like what we're doing here. So you can watch, for free and participate for free on the YouTube channel. And if you need to buy the book, there you are. So you can join in with us. You can go back and watch the old book clubs on the YouTubes too. Let's see. Melody says, now that I've heard the podcast, how do I know we've allowed our soul to be sold?
If this devil had worked on the 17-year-old and the 14-year-old, he already had them turning. And I think some people get to the point where if he could make a person greedy enough or dependent enough on something and you can't get it, I believe you could probably make a bargain with the devil. I think that's really possible. I don't think I would have thought that until I actually saw this dude. and now that I've seen him, and I think that's 35 years ago. So it's been running around in my brain all this time. And there's a lot of times where I look at somebody that is, or I look at an earthbound spirit that's out of a portal and think, wow, I can see how you ended up in there because of what I've known all these years about seeing this hooked character.
Mm.
The funny part is the gal that makes my blessed sea salt soap, it's made with goat's milk. And I have to be honest with you, I really never realized that. I know they were hooves, and I knew they weren't a horse because horses have big feet. But then, but I guess he wasn't like a little person, so I know it wasn't like one of those little pygmy horses or donkeys. But when I went to her farm to work out the details and give her the blessed sea salt about the soap, she showed me the goats, and it was like, oh my gosh, those were goat feet. That's how I knew they were goat feet.
I think goats are the only animals that kind of creep me out a little bit, and it's mainly because of their square, pupil. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, right.
Do that. No.
And then when you start thinking about it, if you look at pictures of different names of the devil, I mean, there's all kinds of different names for the devil. Prince of Darkness. I mean, all of these. Some of the pictures show him standing on, a hooved half lower body, but then it's the horns and all of that, which this devil did not have. If he had showed up in that room with horns on his head, I really don't know what I would have done.
Oh, sorry, I can't help you. Call
someone. Where are the Ghostbusters?
Melody asks, or Melanie, I'm sorry, says, what is the craziest place you found a portal?
It's interesting. You wouldn't think that you could find a portal in a religious place, but I did. And keep in mind that we are all human, and there's bad and good in everybody. And so, but something violent happened in this very particular religious place, and there was a portal there. So that was really the craziest place. I didn't expect that. But
sorry, puppy dog.
Oh, okay, shaking his head. Okay, yeah. Okay, gotcha. It's like, wait a minute.
Sis did not get really big. He went from like yay to yay.
Okay.
Have you gone to jails to close portals for them?
I have not. I have closed portals in buildings that were jails at one time that have closed, and then another business took it over. One in particular was a restaurant that it was a small jail in a small town, and they turned it into a restaurant. And oh my gosh, that place had all kinds of problems down in their basement in that place. And that's where all the cells were.
There was, I don't know if it's still in operation, before COVID. I looked this up to see if we could do like one of our ghost appearances at it. But in Vermilion, there was an Airbnb that had been an old, like, small city prison, and your sleeping quarters was in
the cells.
One of the cells. And here came COVID. I'm like, well, nobody's doing anything, and kind of forgot about it till now. And I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
It's still in existence.
The only thing that this restaurant did, they took advantage of it at Halloween. And they would let people do tours of the cells down the basement, sort of like the prison here does. Richfield,
Right.
yeah, Richland, Richfield, whatever, um, and the bar that goes across on the floor that holds, when they slide the doors open and closed on the jail. I don't know. It came up. I don't know how the dirt fell out from below it. It was a very old building, and so it was sticking up. And it was on one of these tours. Somebody went through one of those cells. A live person went through one of those and tripped over that and broke both legs.
Oh
And
no.
they stopped doing it after that, which was probably a really good thing.
Oof.
Yeah. So, and after that, they did have the portal closed, and the guy that was one of the main people that was coming out of the portal, he just thought that was so great that this guy got hurt. He just thought that was the best thing in the world.
Just a fun sucker, that person.
That's right. It's like, ugh, and you're living in the basement of an old jail.
Yeah.
How's that for you? Right.
Do better. Make better choices, people.
That's right.
Amanda says that she just considers the New York subway system one big portal.
That's very good. I've been in there. I rode that subway one time, and I swore I would never go on the subway again, and I have not been in the subway since. You want to know the scary part? And I don't understand why. I know there's fault lines across the United States. I mean, Ohio is a really big state that gets earthquakes. Who would ever go in a subway in California?
People who like to live dangerously.
I mean, talk about. It's like, what are you doing? Testing if you're going to live or not? I mean, they have. I don't understand live people sometimes.
No. And you may have already answered this one here. Brooke is asking if you've ever cleared out of prison, but I think that's more of, like you said, when you've gone back and it was something else. And
Yeah, I did. I did for PBS TV in October, Halloween, of course, and we did the prison where the Shawshank was filmed, and the one that everybody goes to for Halloween and tours and now. And the interesting thing when I did that, I only did the top floor, which I don't even think they use for tours now, but people that were up there were not out of the prison. That was a TB ward at one time. And there were people that were dead up there that had died from TB. So it's never what you expect. I expected to see some burly, disgusting looking people that were murderers and rapists and everything in between. And here were these sickly people that died of TB. It was like, wow, never would I expect.
It's our friend City. And City, the podcast is live now. So it is, well, I set it to go live at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's actually active. And I think because you guys are ahead of us, you should have access to it. Let's see. And here, Renee is kind of what I was thinking a little bit. Says the god Pan has goat legs and feet. Could it have been him?
But Renee, does that Pan have 4 hooves or only 2?
2.
Okay. But Pan wouldn't take the soul. That's what this guy was after, their souls. So I don't believe so.
Yeah, that's what
and he was very, I can't see Pan going down into a portal to visit his buddies in a portal. Now, the interesting thing, the devil didn't come out of the portal, and he didn't go back in, and he walked out a patio door. So he could visit the portal, but he was not under the rule that you couldn't leave the house if you came out of a portal. But he's the big boss. He can go anywhere he wants, right?
I do what I want.
That's right.
Jane is asking if you can have your soap made without any animal products in it. So like the goat milk.
No, not this particular bar of soap that's being made.
Let's see. Swifty's like, hey, no spoilers when it comes. We're not giving too much away.
Oh no.
Let's see. So we have a kind of long question from Melody. Says, I have a question. When I used to work graveyard and slept through the day, I used to suffer from sleep paralysis, and I would wake up and couldn't move, but could see what's going on around like the TV. Now, a long time ago, I remember in the middle of the night, someone grabbed my ankles and pulled me halfway off the bed and saw a bright light, but I just dismissed it and fell back to sleep. How can I know for sure it's alien related or might have been something else?
The only way that I could tell for sure is if I talk to you from, excuse me, from the house that happened in. That would be the only way. And I could eliminate the alien part if I talked to you from that and didn't hear when somebody has aliens or little folk in a house, there's two distinct noises that I can hear. It's almost like the tornado warning that you hear. It's almost like a siren noise and a high-pitched noise. Not as bad as somebody scraping their nails on a chalkboard, but that high-pitched, grit your teeth noise. So
Okay.
that would be the only way I could tell. And what you described could be either or.
I mean, that little bit of short time that I heard that alien noise, it really sounded like metal just scraping and that high, like worse than chalkboard, just high pitched metal.
Right.
It's like when you see those movies and like a factory is starting to cog up before it blows. Yeah, and there's just, and there was a granary across the street from my old house, and my first thought was that whole building was coming undone in the middle of the night. And nope, everything was nice and peaceful when I peeked out.
And that would be the alien noise. The other noise isn't, for the little folk, isn't quite as annoying as the alien noise.
Would it just be constant tinnitus sounding?
I don't know because I don't have that, so I wouldn't know what that is.
So jealous.
Sorry, got other things, but not that.
Let's see. Lisa, who's one of our local friends here, says, "Have you ever been to Lodi? I recently took a job out there, and it definitely feels like I've stepped back into another era, like small town." So she's wondering what that ghost population might be like. Is it crazy high?
Hey, Lisa, we lived in Worcester for 20 some years. Believe me, I am very aware of Lodi. As a matter of fact, let me check with Ted. Where was the people that wore was that where the Grand Poobah lived? The person that wore the hoods? Lodi. The people, what are those people called, Ted? Ku Klux Klan. The head of Ohio lived in Ohio and in Lodi. So yeah, you were right, Lisa. You nailed it.
Well, that just soured my day.
And there are some really, really good people in Lodi. Lodi is a pretty little town. It really is. But oh my, no, but that is where, the head of it for Ohio lived. So you're right.
Amanda has a pretty interesting question. It says, how in the world could an abandoned mining town in Nevada be haunted? Where would all the earthbounds get the energy?
You're 100% correct. That's why when I go into something like that and are invited into some place like that, I'm the spoiler. It's like, I'm sorry, guys, this place isn't haunted. And they don't like that. That's one of the reasons why I was invited and then canceled to go to England to do a castle because they wanted more information about their ghosts, but they didn't want them to be removed.
Right.
And so it's like, yeah. And if they say to me, I really want to go, what am I supposed to do? Say no? Yeah, I couldn't do that. So the whole job was just canceled, which was fine with me.
Paula says my old Catholic school was a prison. Creepy as heck.
There was a nun who was in full garb that was in an all-girls school that is no longer here that called me, and that school was full. That school was full. It was just amazing.
Our buddy Lewis, hello Lewis, is back. He wants to know if you see ghosts at museums who are attached to the objects.
Oh yes, as a matter of fact, one of the what the F letters is about that actually. So you'll have to, yeah, we have that coming up soon. But yeah, that'll be interesting. But yes, they do go there.
Now, have you had or seen any of the artifacts from Egypt that are cursed? Have you seen the curse on the object? Have you seen a spirit attached to it?
Yes, and I didn't have to touch it, but going through a museum, I can see. And again, I'm just one of those people. I don't see pinks and purples and blues, and I don't see any of that. But I see grays and shades of gray, and navy blue and shades of navy blue over an object. So that means that object does have negative energy on it. I just don't see the pretty colors.
Gotcha. Liz says it's wonderful you close portals with bad entries, but what about encouraging angels and deceased loved ones? How do you bring the positive in?
You have those around you all the time, Liz. You've got your guardian angel just constant from, a few weeks before you were born until the day you die. And you have your spirit guides that are all from the light. And you have your relatives that have crossed over from the light that come and visit. So absolutely, as long as you are doing everything positive, there's no reason why, all the good ones aren't going to be around you.
Yes, let's see. Karen's like Grand Poobah from Flintstones. Love it.
Oh, I don't know what their title is. The guy with the big hat. I don't know.
Let's see.
Excuse me. The Imperial Wizard, as my husband informed me. Don't ever play
Trivia Pursuit.
Ever with Ted. You will lose.
Yeah, we're talking about the grand person of the KK. We're just going to call him Headmaster.
Yep. We'll
call him.
Yeah.
I could go on, but we don't want the channels to be flagged or taken down for vulgarity.
No. Yeah, no. That's good. Yeah, that's good enough.
Let's see. Brooke says the only time I ever respected a ghost hunting show was an episode where they went to Tombstone and said, "There's nothing here."
I love it. You're absolutely correct. And let Melissa know which ghost hunting show that is, because if that's the same ghost hunting show that says if you've got orbs in your house, you're terribly haunted, there's a problem, because that's not true.
Amanda says Imperial Wizard sounds like something out of Harry Potter. Harry Potter is cooler than those people.
Never read a book on Harry Potter or saw a movie. I would have no clue.
Really?
Never.
What? Never. Oh my God, we're gonna have to form an intervention here. We're all gonna show up at your house with books and movies.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think that would work. When the lightsabers. What? No, lightsabers. What movie was lightsabers?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. My girls were little when Star Wars, the first one, came out, and so yes, we took the girls, and they actually had their lightsabers, and I can't believe I sat through that first one, and I never saw another one after that.
Yeah, I'm not a super big Star Wars fan because they
So,
went on forever. Or Lord of the Rings. You can crucify me now. I don't care
no,
about Lord
no.
of the Rings. I read the first book, The Hobbit, or not the first, but the first for me in like third grade. Loved it. Tried to read it again as an adult. And I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? I couldn't do it. I'm like, ugh.
You grew up.
Um, let's see. A lot of Harry Potter fans, though. Lisa's with you. She hasn't done them all. Uh, everybody's renaming the KKK guy, and it's hilarious. But Amanda, in reference to Harry Potter, we can call him "He Who Must Not Be Named."
Okay. Like I said, I'm sure he has a name, but seeing that I didn't belong to that organization, I really don't know.
Yeah, there's so
Right.
many names I would like to call him that I can't do on here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me go back and find some questions. Dawn says, I'm a bit clairvoyant, and whenever I go to Amish country, I feel like I have bricks on my chest and tons of anxiety. Do you notice anything negative when you're out in Amish country, Marianne?
Well, let's put it this way. We lived in Wayne County for 20 some years, which is, I don't know what the percentage would be, but it's very high Amish. Let's just say there's good and bad in everybody, in every sect of people. I came to the conclusion that when we left Wayne County and moved back up to this area, that I wasn't going to miss the Amish. Let's just say that. But they're great bakers. They truly are.
See, you see there, sometimes they would come into Oberlin, right, and be on the corner by where Ames used to be, which is now like the Walmart and stuff, 58 and 20. And they put their little buggy there and they have their pies. And I was never a big fan of getting them. And it dawned on me because the ex-husband at the time, he's like, we're never stopping for there. And I was just like, why? He's like, well, if they don't have all of the modern like electricity and all of this, how are they washing their hands, cleaning those utensils, And I'm like, you're right.
No, I've been in their houses. Their houses, I mean, there's some that were really clean and some that were really dirty. But I canned a lot when the girls were young, and yeah, they don't have freezers, but they can everything. And where they smoke it, the meat, and that I have to admit, but if you're on the road and you're on, let me think, what is it? To get to 83, I think you take, 71 down to 83, which there's that big mall there, the whatever that little mall there is, not mall, outlet. Thank you. Oh,
Is that in the background for the win again?
That's right. There's an outlet there. There used to be an Amish group of people that were there every weekend selling pies. Their horses were, tied to trees underneath and everything. And it was so cool because they had like a pie and they had little tiny paper plates of some kind that they would give you a taste so you could taste the pie before you bought it. And this particular group of Amish, when you bought the pie and got it home, there was nothing inside.
It was just the crust on?
Yeah, it was sort of heavy inside, but I don't know what the heck that was inside, but it certainly wasn't edible, whatever it was. So you got to be careful. Like I said, there's good and bad and everything. Buy your Amish bakery from a grocery store because I've seen it in many stores around here, Amish bakery.
Yeah. I'll just stick to not.
Give me a bag of Lorna Doones.
Right. Rebecca says, how do I keep myself from attracting spirits everywhere I go? I bring a lot home and would rather not. Buildings, especially from cleaning in them, homes, everywhere. I feel their energy, and it's so strong. I have even broken down in tears from their sadness at times.
Seriously, Rebecca, if you wear a Quincy charm, they cannot get closer than 3.5, 4 feet to you, and you will not pick up on their energies or their moods, and they will not be able to get energy from you and make you moody or sad. So you definitely need to wear a Quincy charm. That's the only way that I know they will definitely stay away from you.
So this next one. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Scooping Jesus out of the pew.
Please, Amanda, stop.
So Debbie Draws Funny stops into the store yesterday.
Oh no.
Said she had went back, watched that episode, and said if she knew for a fact that at least 100 people would buy the card or, whatever, she would actually send it off to the printers. So we're thinking like pre-order. You too could have your own Scooping Jesus out of the puke.
Is she going to make the puke pink?
She probably could. Yeah. So
powder over the top of it. Yuck. No.
Just throwing that out there, guys.
I'm going to get me for that one. No.
Melanie says she would buy it.
Oh, there you go.
And Lori.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Let's see. Lisa says she's going to stick with the Granny Bakers at Giant Eagle.
You got that right, Lisa.
Let's see. Melanie asks if an Earthbound has ever gotten mad when they found out that smudging was going to make them lethargic.
No, that does not happen because as soon as they smell the smoke, it makes them very lethargic. And when they start getting back their energy after 12, 13 days, if you're going to smudge again at that point when you should be, then they never have a chance, but they do not retaliate for smudging. If they're that angry, they're just going to walk out because they know that you've got the upper hand. So no, anybody that says smudging makes it worse is not doing it correctly.
And Lewis asks, would you ever go to Egypt or places of antiquity, there we go, that's the word, to ghost hunt if people asked?
If I was 30 or 40 years younger, I might, yeah, that would have been an adventure. I would have liked to have done that. But yeah, so much now, not anymore.
I don't have them there all the time. They happen to be in my building when Mary Ann is there.
Very good.
So you can, if you are local in person, you can always stop in during the book club if you're part of the book club, because Mary Ann.
People have done that. They've showed up just to get stuff because they know we have the products there. That my website, but at least if you come to the book club or come when I'm doing a meet and greet at the store, you're not paying shipping and tax, which I unfortunately have to charge. So, but yeah, just stop in, 20 minutes before the book club starts, which is 7:00. Stop in before, and Ted has all the stuff there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Brooke says your life is already full of adventure.
You're right, Brooke. I don't need any more at this time in my life.
And other people kind of validating having them would help, cleaning and not bringing anything home. And Amanda would buy the Scoop Jesus out of the puke card. So
she better buy more than one.
Keep bringing it up.
That's right.
Melanie, if you're local, if you show up to the book club, Mary Ann will be right there and sign them in person for you. So if it's for yourself or somebody else, she can personalize it. If you need to order them and have them shipped, that's something that we can arrange as well.
Yep.
She's in Georgia. So since you're in Georgia, yeah, just send a message over, because I think right now some of her books are listed as out of stock on my website. only because of from when we've done the last events. I'll purposely change the quantity available online so we don't run out one plate. Yeah, I'd rather run out on the website and not be able to sell it for a little bit and make sure I have them set aside for in person. So just send a message over. But other in person, besides the book club, Marianne, you'll be with us out at the winery September 10th.
That's right.
John Christ Winery in Avon. Then October 2nd is an in-store author meet and greet that's free to come into. Signed copies, get quinceads, get the soaps, the dream bags, the zipper pulls.
The John at the winery on Thursday.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that because it's still kind of new.
Yes.
So September 22nd, that's a Thursday evening at 7:00. Marianne presentation with wine. So it's $40 a person, includes your wine, the entry in, so that we have some spaces for that. It is limited because they're kind of a smaller in-house winery. When we do the event out back, we're outside, that's much bigger. Inside is limited seating. So that's available. We've already had a few people buying tickets for that one already.
It's limited to 50. But the really good thing when it's that small, almost everybody's questions get answered because I don't have, there's not 100 people in front of me and I can, and get them answered.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like I said, and keep in mind, these events are not for anybody under 18 because like with the 50 people at the winery that Thursday night, there is stuff that I won't talk about in front of children
Mm-hmm.
or in this type of thing. There's some little creepy ghosts out there, but I won't tell stories like that with children in the room. So it's just a matter of, you wanted them to know, you tell them they're your kids.
Right. Debbie says she's already got her tickets and can't wait for that Thursday event.
Oh, good.
Westies says, we're wondering if you got a room like the Warrens where you keep all of your haunted objects or cursed objects in.
Well, actually, I do have a box out in the garage that I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do yet with, because that box was everything that I bought that had curses attached to it many years ago when I used to have my curse workshop. And no, Melissa, we are not doing it.
Still working, guys.
No, and so there are, so I do have some things that are cursed, and one day I'll probably just take the curse off everything and sell everything at a garage sale. So,
all the more reason why to do the workshop, Miriam.
Yeah. No.
It'll be the last time ever, and it's limited to however many objects you have. So if you got 6 objects, 6 people. That's it. We'll clean out your garage one way or the other.
Yeah, your mind just never quits, does it, Melissa?
No, not really. Lewis says, what was it like trying to do this in your early 20s and 30s? How many people, dead or alive, made your life difficult? I'm sure it was more of the alive people that made life difficult than.
Yeah, it was to a point, but think about it this way. When you're 20, 21, 25 years old and you're going into a house that has a 65-year-old grumpy old ghost man and you're trying to tell him what to do, whoa, not nice. Mm-hmm. So there were some good things coming, getting older, it's not so bad now. But when I was younger, it was hard. And everything was a big secret. You couldn't talk about it. I mean, my husband had his own business. I had kids. And we lived in Worcester. They still have revivals on the corners in the summer in Worcester. My gosh, I've been tarred and feathered and carried out on a rail. So, you had to be, it was hard. So some things are better. I mean, it's way better now than it used to be.
Now, Brooke, though, said she would attend that workshop and fly up from Florida.
I bet you would, because I had people come from China, I had people come from Sweden, I had people come from Germany. And a lot of my, especially when Go Speak, is in a bunch of different languages.
Mm.
And so people were, as a matter of fact, it is in German. And the gal wanted to come over with her husband for the workshop. And the workshop was like $100 for 4 hours. You got a kit, you got a workbook, you got enough in the kit to do 50 curse removals. I mean, it was challenging. And uh, so she said, we're coming, and the hotel that this was at always gave anybody that wanted to stay over a discount on rooms. So that was nice. Plus, they were a shuttle to the airport, so people didn't have to have a vehicle. They could just come in for the weekend.
Okay.
And she said, you need to have a translator there for me. And I'm thinking, for $100, you think? I said, no, that's not. She had a friend that spoke American, and that's who I was communicating. I says, no. I says, if she wants to know what I'm talking about, have her bring her When Go Speak German book. The whole last chapter is the workbook. It's in German. She doesn't need a translator. And so she ended up, well, she sent her husband over with the book, and it was fine. They didn't come together, but still, so it was a lot.
Swifties attended it. Completely worth it. Still have and use that kit.
And it went up as the hotel rooms got higher up. It cost me, back when we quit, $35 for a big urn of hot water so people could make a hot cup of tea. You know what? It just wasn't.
See, I know this person who has all this extended classroom and office space, so there wouldn't be the cost.
Yeah, I bet you will. Is there a book club in that place?
Could be.
Yeah, I bet. No.
Could talk to her.
Nah, not happening. No.
Just saying.
I would have to have workbooks made up again. I just can't do it.
Might know people on that.
No, I bet you do.
I mean, I know some people. How do you think we printed all of the expo booklets and stuff when we were still doing that holistic expo, which I am so glad we no longer do.
See how relieved you are that you don't do that?
Don't compare the expo to the workshop.
Oh, yes. Because I did that for 20-some years, and you only did the expo for what, 4 or 5?
This would have been the 8th year. And the vendor coordinator for this thing, and we would have anywhere from like 107 to 125, and keeping their place on the map and their payments, their contracts. Are they returning? Are they? Oh my god! And then the infighting between vendors, and like, well, now this one and this one don't get along, but this one's a Reiki practitioner, so I have to be careful where I put them, so they're not on top of a. Oh my god! We're adults, people. Stop it. Just stop acting like high school. Like I'm done.
When it comes to their product.
Nah. If I gave up too easy on Marianne, we wouldn't even be doing this.
You're right. We wouldn't.
Or the Zooms.
No, we wouldn't be doing that either. You're right. So I'm so happy.
Haunted locations.
No, I'm so happy you're making me work harder. This is great.
No, you wanted to slow down later in life? No.
Actually, this is fun. I enjoy this one, this format a lot. I love talking to the people. But that's it. I think.
See, Brooke's going to help get stuff printed. Telling you. Make this happen. Let's see. So ladies, have you heard of ghost beads? We just went to Sedona, and the native people sold jewelry made with them. They are supposed to prevent negative energy. Do you think they work like twins? I have not heard of ghost beads.
I have no idea. I don't know. And Native American Indians actually used tobacco to ward off that and smudge sticks. So I don't know what the stones would be made out of for the beads. The only thing that would concern me is who what kind of energy are you getting from the beads on whoever made the beads? And when you get them, did you take them home and cleanse them before you started using them? Because you don't know what's involved. It's like people that buy a brand new car and there's everything wrong with it. And it was made by somebody that was really negative and crabby that day. And so you've got a car that's a total lemon. You get, when you, anything there. And, you know, Melissa store is totally secure. Nobody can get in her store. But even with her store, anytime I buy any kind of stones or anything from her store, I always bring them home and cleanse them first before I'm going to do something with them. I mean, the person that was in front of me picking up the stones and letting them run through their hands, deciding if they wanted them or not, what kind of energy did they have on them? This is stuff that you don't want to bring home. This is why people that do card reading or runes or anything have to keep cleaning their cards or their runes or anything like that to make sure that the energy is from somebody else isn't on them. But I've never heard of ghost beads. I would be really curious to know what they're made out of.
Doing some Googling in another tab here. According to Google, ghost beads are dried juniper or cedar berries that are usually lightly smoked and strung in a classic manner. Often they will include glass beads intertwined with the berries if they are short supply. The berries are only collected after they have fallen to the ground and have been eaten by ants. The ghost beads represent interconnection with the earth, trees, animals, and humans, where to bring about peace, harmony, and safety, it wards off negative energy, bringing about protection from evil spirits, ghosts, and nightmares.
Well, see, I think that's interesting because my smudge sticks come from a res in New Mexico. And when they harvest the sage to make them, they will put in branches of juniper or lavender. So that is actually in a smudge stick, which I would feel more comfortable with the smudge stick than I would that particular type of thing. But again, if it feels good to you, what's the harm as long as you cleanse it?
Right. Well, and what's interesting, juniper and cedar, depending on your recipe, but most of them are going to have it. There's an incense blend, kinnikinnick, and sometimes you'll find recipes for kinnikinnick that you can smoke. Which, when you think of everything else that's in there, I'm like, that cannot be something that's going to taste good. But it is used in some traditions in for cleansing and sanctifying and like blessing things. And juniper's in there, ursi's in there, cedar's in there, sometimes willow, lavender. I used to make it for the store. I still would, except it's a very time consuming because you got to blend down all of these things. And let me tell you, $80 coffee grinders to break down these juniper berries. Can't handle it, get that cheap little round coffee grinder from Walmart for $20 and it will cut through anything, but you can only do a small amount at a time.
And see, it's interesting because in the curse removal kit, there is a small envelope of the berries.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that's in there helped remove negative energy. And that juniper berries was absolutely in there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Rhonda said, now that we've said it out loud, Facebook ads coming up with goats be sales. So Facebook and YouTube might be throwing ads at us now. Let's see. Drew says, I adopted a cat about a year ago with trauma issues, and I live in a 100-year-old building. Would there be a chance bad spirits making it hard to make a safe place for the cat?
There's a possibility of that, but when somebody tells me that their animals are being made miserable, I got to tell you, I go more to the little folk because they can be really mean to animals and make them paranoid. So I don't know. I would need a call from the residence where you and the cat live to see if, or come on a Zoom. The next one is on the 22nd, a Monday night, and come on that and let's see if there's something going on. I'll be able to pick up on little folk or whatever's in there. At least you'll know. Don't make I don't want to see the cat be miserable.
Yeah, little kitty cat, especially if it's already been through a lot.
Yeah.
I was laughing a little bit ago. Amanda made the comment about the stones from Loch Ness, but how I and Lewis haven't gotten to work together yet to make this a thing.
See, that's not my problem. That's yours.
Passing the buck.
That's right.
So the Melanie wants to know, how do we get little folk to leave the pets alone?
There is a solution that is available on my website, or I bring it to the events. And little folk are not dead. I cannot get rid of them. It is your property. You have to do it. But the instructions are there and everything you need is there. And it's time consuming, and you have to do it for 6 months, one time every 6 months, approximately on the same day each month. And once 6 months is over, you will never have little folk in your house again. You go 5 months and you so happy you only have the 6th month to go, and you forget on the 6th month. You have to start all over again. So you got to be very careful when you do it, but you can get rid of them. But once it's determined if that's what you got, then the solution is there for whoever needs it.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. I was at his friend's house crashing and sitting there, and all of these noises through the house, and I'm like, what the hell? And this is a person that has been doing the fairy solution. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey, are you coming up on your 6-month mark? And they're like, yeah, here in a few days. I'm like, where's your bottle? And went and did all of the doors and windows and was like in complete quiet.
Makes a huge
So,
difference. Huge difference.
And I didn't think I was that attuned or whatever into hearing them, but to me it was a racket going on. They weren't hearing anything. And I'm like, I have enough problems sleeping. I'm not putting up with this. Like, I will take the 15 minutes to go do all the doors and windows if that means I can sleep for the night. And it was like a switch went off, and
right, it works. It definitely works. People that have done the whole procedure have never had a trouble with them again. And as a matter of fact, a sister did, two sisters, they were both married, they both had families, and they lived a street apart. The one sister had them and the other one did not. The sister that had them did it for 6 months. She ended up selling her house to her sister and bought a different house. It still worked when her sister moved in there too. So once the house is totally done, they never use that property again. So it's definitely worth it to do it.
If you're going to sell your house, maybe ask your realtor, like, can we include this in the perks of the property?
Well, there are people, and that's why I work with a lot of real estate agencies, that now because you can just bid at a house and buy it now. But people that are looking at houses or going through open houses will run their hands over the top of a doorway to see if there's a quinseed up there or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is, and they want that house, that is usually put in the agreement, the quinseed stay. So it's interesting that people know that much about them. I just actually, I just got a call from Oregon from a real estate agent out there. Wanted to know how I could work with her company to put them up in their houses. And I'm thinking, well, the interest rates are going up, so it's probably going to be hard selling a house again. And that's probably
Probably.
where she's going with it. So,
Probably. Well, and it's funny though, you mentioned how they'll run their hand over there, but I mean, I firsthand was with you at a clearing, the one that we recorded and put up here with Mr. Clarence. And those seats were actually kind of put behind the door frame.
there's a reason for that. That house was going to be used for rental.
Mhm.
And somebody coming in the house to rent it, cleaning the house and finding this little seed up there that looks like a little dried bug, they're going to pick it up and throw it away. So they can be hidden behind the woodwork up there. As long as they're there, they work. Even if somebody tries to come in and the seed cracks, it still works 100%. So it's a total win-win. So yeah, and there are some people that the wives don't want the husbands to know it's up there, so let's hide them. Or and then there's some people who went, oh no, I can't do that because I have to take them with me if I move, which is true. Take them with you and call me from your new place of residence, and if it's clear, you can just put them right back up again. So but yeah, the little folk is something that you have to do. I can't do it for you.
Right. It's not that hard. I mean, I was helping do my friend's house, and I think the hardest part was finding where the bag of cotton balls were.
Yeah, and some people have trouble finding the millet to put outside because you have to put that outside to get the ones that are out. And it's in the grocery store. Giant Eagle sells a little box of millet about this big in the pet department. That's what you feed parakeets. And that's why people that have big birds or birds or budgies, parakeets, whatever, you should really keep your seeds in a really good sealed can because that is like crack cocaine for little folk. They're going to go right after that stuff. Oh, yeah.
Brooke says, I have Faye or little folk outside, but not inside. They just recently showed up after we put a little pumpkin sculpture outside. Might as well have been an invitation for them.
Yeah, but outside, it's fine. You're not going to clear the world of them. And they're doing their own thing outside. Maybe maybe your cat's giving them a headache or they're giving your cat a headache out there. But, they're not inside. It's when they're inside that there's a problem. Now, if you're a person that, say, has animals, a barn, a kennel for dogs, and that is something that would absolutely need to be done because, again, there's certain little folk that are so totally mean to animals. And so you would have to do that also.
Which is hilarious. We got good old Clarence, and Amanda's like, our favorite killer.
Favorite killer, great.
Somehow created a fan club for him.
Yeah, right, Clarence.
Sue says, do we need to have Marianne clear our home before we can place quince seeds above our doors?
You need to make a call to make sure the house is clear before you put the quince seeds up, because if not, and you put the seeds up, you've trapped who's ever there. They can't get out. Oh, and believe me, you don't want to do that. So yeah, you have to call first. And I know fall is coming, so the new apples and the new pears will be out soon. And so will the quince seeds, because the quince is a cross between a pear and an apple. Those are not my seeds. You can put a whole quince above each door, and it's not going to work unless they're mine that come from my relatives in Italy.
I do not sell kombucha, unfortunately. Charlie's mom wants to know, how do you use any of the stones that you might get from a store, Marianne?
Well, I will get them and carry them in my ghost busting case because some people like to try to do something with their yards so that ghosts don't come in their yards. And there's some stones that put a little bit of a barrier up. Nothing is 100%, but it between that and sea salt, you can pretty much keep them out. And so, but even the ones I get from her store, I still, I just come home and put everything in a bag of sea salt. And so they're all clear when I give them to somebody to use in their property. I don't use them. Ted has a whole pocket full of stones. He's married to me. I don't know why he needs them, but he likes them, so it's okay.
Well, I mean, some of these help with like anxiety, stress, and
Right, right.
That's why whenever you ask Ted, how you doing? Just fine.
Just fine. Just fine.
Not that he's an old-fashioned fellow who would tell you if there was something wrong or not. We love you, Ted.
Yes, we do.
Pam C says, I have a juniper necklace bought online from Navajo, and every time I wear it, I have a negative experience. How do I cleanse it?
Well, obviously you can't put it in a liquid. So I guess I would put it in, I would try, first of all, I would try smoking, get a smudge stick, smoke it up and smoke up the necklace in that. Or put sea salt on it and keep it in a sea salt like 24 hours. Or when you cleanse your stones, that would be a way to do it too. Somebody that's had a ghost in their house, their energy is going to be on stones, anything that was in the house. And eventually it'll wear off when the ghost is gone. But if you wanted to move faster, get a cookie sheet and put some sea salt on it and put the stuff, including your necklace, your juniper necklace, in that. Even if you put the necklace in a baggie and put it in there so the salt isn't on the berries. And keep them, I would put like a cloth over the top of it so birds and little critters don't, walk off with your stones. But put them outside. Put that pie or that cookie sheet on the ground. If you can do that on a full moon, that will clear everything up really well for you. But keep this in mind when you bring them in and you get all the salt off everything. Do not put that salt in your sink because it just collected all this negative energy and you're going to put it right back in your own sink. Nah, put it in a baggie and throw it outside, in the sewer, or go to a mall and dump it in a bin or something, but don't put it in your own house.
Let's see. Brooke wants to know, would a blessed seed that gets planted grow a blessed quin squish? Inquiring minds would like to know.
I wouldn't think so because it goes through growing and maturing and the person that picked it. No, I would think that the seeds have to be blessed on their own.
And Denise says, can you clear a dog? I have a dog with a Jekyll and Hyde personality. Never know when he's going to change.
And I'm sure something is bothering the dog in the house. It wouldn't be the dog being possessed or anything. It's probably we folk in the house or a ghost that doesn't like the dog.
Might be worth a Zoom session from.
That's right. That's the best way to find out if there's something going on. I'm still not making calls because we're still doing a bunch of, doctor's appointments and everything with Ted. He's better, not good yet, but we're getting there. And so, but Zoom is going to be the quickest and the fastest way for me to see if your place is clear or not. Now, for summer, we're only doing 15 twice a month because people are busy and they're not filling up. Come fall, we'll go back up to a higher amount. But so it feels fast, but definitely get on a Zoom and let's see what's going on.
So Zooms, we do a Friday night and a Monday night. Both happen at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So while we enjoy friends from everywhere, like I think that's how we first met Setsuko, who's in Japan. Just please adjust the time because it's 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
It's
Everybody gets to
saving
ask.
times now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still,
Well,
just go by that. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Everybody gets to ask questions. Everybody will get their questions answered. We ask that you keep it to two just to be respectful of everybody else who also paid to be there and are waiting to ask their questions. Let's see. So yeah, the next one is on the 12th, but that one's filled. So after that would be August 22nd,
Correct.
which is a Monday night. So that's the link to go join us if you would like to find out if you've got anything going on in your house. You have to be in the building that your question is about. Don't go to work on a lunch break and ask us what's going on in your house because you're not there. Let's see.
And also on the Zoom calls, you're
Mhm.
in a room talking to me without your children. Keep that
Yes.
in mind. I won't talk to you unless the kid leaves the room. So just,
Yep.
and don't let them listen at the door, please. So for those that are calling, I'm sorry, but the talk on the 19th this month in Strongsville was filled in a week. That was not my limit put on that. That was the hotel's limit. Only 100 people they let us have. So, and like I said, that filled in 6 days.
Mhm.
So, but with Halloween coming up, there'll be more events that we'll be at. But that one is filled, and I know the calls are coming in, but there's no way I can work you in. That's it. So,
Yeah. Thankfully, I don't get any more messages about that one. Um, you can't bribe me to get you in because I have no control over that one. And Amanda's like, children and husband out. Nobody on this call.
yeah, right. Oh, and for those of you that are attending the talk, I will have the books there from Melissa for the book club.
Yep.
So they'll be there if you want to buy the book then.
And thank you, Brooke and City and Amanda, reminding everybody to please hit like, subscribe, share, and please do so on both channels. This is streaming live on Marianne's and ours. So that way it helps both of us grow. If you're already on Marianne's, which is Marianne's Winkowski, and the stores is Goddess Elite New Age. So if you could do that, that helps both of us out. And if you hit the little bell, you'll get notified every time we go live. Because sometimes people will come in the store and be like, I usually watch and I forgot, I got wrapped up in something. And if you hit that little bell, you will get a notification every time we go live. So
Does stupid question. Does your computer have to be on to hear the bell?
if you have YouTube like on your phone or a tablet or your computer,
Oh,
and you hit that, then it will notify you on any of those devices.
oh, I don't have that. Okay.
No,
I
Ted
don't.
would be the one to get it on his phone if you did that.
His phone dings enough.
um, let's see. The book club is virtual, so it's going to be just like this on the channels. So you would just come to the channel and it'll start live and you'll be able to ask questions like we're doing right now. It'll be about the book club. And Brooke says it sends a message that, hey, they're live now. So that's how it'll
Oh,
work for you.
okay.
Pamela, you know what? You can go to, let me find it. If you go here, go to the haunted events. It will go through for you. Actually, I'll leave that there to sign up. Let's see. We talked about book club. We talked about Zoom. You're at the winery twice in September with us. October 2nd, you're in store. October 9th, we're at the Haunted Merry-Go-Round in Sandusky, the museum. So that'll be fun. And then we have another in-person December 17th. So we're kind of winding down after September events.
The years flying by again. It just, I don't know what happened last month. How did we get this far already into August? I don't understand. Where time
Well,
goes.
I've already caught myself signing things 2023. And I've already, like, when people ask how old I am, I'm already giving my age for next year. And I'm
Why are
like,
you doing that?
I don't know. I'm too much time bending again. I need to tone down that shaman work. But um yeah, I'm already like in my mind in 2023 and dating and referring to things like it's 2023.
Cripe, it was June and I was still writing 2021 on checks. It's like,
Yep. I was like, stop it. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Brooke is doing it too.
why go forward? That doesn't make any sense.
And it's not even a conscious thought. Like I'm just sitting there filling out like bank slips or something. 2023. Oh shit. Scratch out initial.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I forget. Like I was talking, I think with Gregory and Nicholas DeReader, and we were talking about a possible like outside event and things in that. Somehow age came up because the owner of that building, and he asked how old I was, and I said, and then I'm like, wait, that's not right. I'm like, no, we're only in 2022 still. And he goes, yeah, why are he goes, because if you're older, that makes me older, so stop it. And I'm like, because I like, you know what? It's funny. There's a part of me that I'm always like, I can't wait to be that little old lady that can just do and say whatever she wants. And it's cute, it's eccentric, it's like I can't wait. The only thing I'm not going to like about being that old is like when the body is arthritic, is tired, is, like that's the part I'm not looking forward to. But the sassy old lady.
I'll give you a good old lady, which is a bad thing with old ladies. Okay, I had to pick a prescription at the store, and the girl pharmacist, um, little Asian girl, so nice, and she needed to open up the box and show me what was in it, and it was taped really, really tight.
Mhm.
And so she got a pair of scissors, and they were even too thick to get into to cut the little piece of tape across the top. So the other her helper there hands her this very strange looking tool. It's about this long, and on the end there's like this hook, and it only goes about this far, and that hook is real sharp. But she could slide that little hook into the end. Oh, that just cut that tape like it was wonderful. Now I'm looking at this thing, it's almost like an exaggerated crochet hook. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I better stop this. I'm not going to continue because I said something really stupid. Never mind, I'm not going to go there. I just can't say it now because I should have never said it. I thought I was saying it out loud.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought I was thinking it in my head, and I had an old relative that really had a hard time with her toenails, and in my mind, I thought I said, "Boy, she would have really liked that to clean her toenails."
But that was your out loud voice.
And this little girl looks at me and she starts laughing. She says, "Oh my God, that's gross." I said, "Oh my God, did I say that out loud?" I didn't even believe I said it out loud.
See now, right now, because I'm watching Only Murders in the Building.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
books. I think of her, and I love that show, and I'm pissed that I have to
It's
wait.
good. That's a good show. Yeah, we
I
just
want two old grandpas to go around solving murder mysteries with.
yeah. No, that was cute. I didn't think I was going to like it,
I
but I
didn't even. I'm
do.
like, yeah, it's gonna be hokey, and it's adorable.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I think we need to get on with our day, and everybody else too. And
Yeah, I gotta edit down our next two podcasts that will hit in 2 weeks and the week after. So if you have not, go check out the podcast that was released this morning, When Go Speak, available on everything except for iTunes. And I'm gonna try and fight that battle again, maybe. But if you don't want to have to worry about an app, just put that address into your search engine or into your address bar, and it'll go right to the podcast hosting page, and you can just listen right from there. So you can bookmark it,
Easy
save it.
that. Right.
Yeah.
Easy. Right.
Yeah. But
Okay, everybody.
yeah, so catch us next Wednesday, podcast and alive.
Have a good week, everybody.
All right. Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.